Hi everyone, I'm Lamia and welcome back to Luminous Life. So today I'm going to do a reading, but it's going to be a little bit different from the ones I've done before because this reading is for the month of December. So it's a reading for the entire month and it's going to address various aspects of the self and various aspects of the external world. The idea is to understand how to make the rest of the month, how to align with our goals, what is it that we need to keep as we carry forward into the new month, and what is it that's best for us to let go of. And this is a reading that's a collective reading, which means that it will resonate with each of you at some level. For some of you more than others. But without any further ado, I'm going to get started. So the first set of cards is going to bring our attention on what we need to carry from the last month, what we need not carry and what we can release from the last month. Moving on, this card is telling us about the theme for the month of December 2022, and then this is telling us about what we need to be aware of for the month ahead. And I want to just let you know that 2 cards fell out when I was pulling out the card for this message. Then we're going to come into what we need to have our focus on, what we need to do more of, or rather what we need to do, and what we'd rather not do, what doesn't serve us in this month, or do less of. Then these define our opportunities. So there are 3 cards that talk about possibilities and opportunities that can present themselves to us, and that we should keep an eye out for so we can respond to those opportunities and possibilities. Finally, we will come to what really sets our soul on fire, what will really feed our soul, and what brings us joy. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the cards. Alrighty, so beginning with what we need to keep from the last month. So after the eclipses, I feel like November's energy was ripe with possibilities, but I do think that it was not like a free-flowing river. There are obstacles and we have to be like water in the river, moving around those obstacles. So it's telling us to keep that dreamer. The dreamer is like the first card in the tarot pack. It's the beginning of the journey. And so it's telling us that you have a clean slate ahead of you. The journey is long, but you can go in any direction you wish to. You can manifest whatever you want to. And so even though there might be this energy that we are a bit stuck, that we are feeling a little resistant, or things are not happening instantaneously, it's telling you that your attitude and what shows up, what needs to be carried forward from last month, is that feeling that, no, I can do whatever I wish to do. Because sometimes the opportunity is not presenting itself to us. Sometimes we don't feel the motivation, we don't feel like showing up. We feel the inability to express our needs. And hence, when we can't express our needs, we're not always able to receive what we want. And so this card is saying, you can do whatever you want to, you can manifest whatever you wish to, and this is a card about your true purpose. So if last month there was any theme of changing a career, of doing something else for a living, something that was aligning you more with your soul's purpose, this card is saying you are on the right track and to continue to pursue that in whatever small way possible, even in the month of December. This card is a 3 of winter, and this is what we need to release from the last month. The eclipse energy, and I said this a few times even in my community, was a little bit funky. It was confusing. For some people, it was sometimes intense, but for the most part, it was an energy that was constantly moving and changing, and just when you felt like you were, kind of flowing, you would feel like you're not flowing anymore. And different kind of things were coming up. Of course, eclipses represent endings and restarts and this kind of rebirth energy, the death rebirth energy. But what they're asking us, what the cards are telling us to not take forward in this month ahead, and the card is the 3 of winter, and winter is a harsher energy, and we are actually in most of the world entering into the winter season. And this card is about actually leaving your bygones as bygones, leaving them behind you, forgiving people and moving forward, forgiving yourself and moving forward. There is this energy that I still feel very palpably, like very actively, in spite of 11/11, in spite of a lot of the new moon that just went through, that is kind of keeping us in this, I need to constantly transform, I need to constantly re-innovate. And sometimes we can have a little bit of not only resistance but resentment towards some of the things that happened last month. So this card is telling you, in this month, you really want to thrive. This is a very full moon activity. Make a list of those people who annoyed you, who upset you, who misunderstood you, with whom you had conflict, and forgive them and forgive yourselves. But I think this is an energy that's coming up for the beginning of the month of December, and it feels to me like it's relevant because it's the end of the year and you really want to wrap up and tie up loose ends that no longer serve us. And sometimes there could be loose ends that are not even from this year. There are past pain, a past situation, a past feeling, something you didn't have closure about. Maybe even it was last year or 5 years ago. So it is kind of saying, leave this in November, leave this in the past where it belongs. And this is a card about comfort and reaching out to others and to community for comfort. So again, very December energy, because one tends to socialize and one tends to, meet with family and friends and old friends. So this card is really telling us, connect with old friends, connect with loved ones, reach out to them for comfort, but take that time to forgive yourself and leave the past in the past. That's a good one for what we need to release. Coming to the theme of December, and it is the King of Spring. Now, this is a masculine energy. The Sag energy is very, entrepreneurship, innovation, adventure, travel, newness. That fire energy is a very I can do whatever I wish to, and that spring represents the same energy. And it's the king, which is that very sun-like energy of the fire element, where you can go and do whatever you wish to do. There is that active, assertive energy towards our goals. But it's also a very innovation, theatrical, inspirational energy that is coming up through this card, because this card is telling us that it is our time to shine. It is our time to give ourselves what we want. It is our time to connect with the big goals at work and end the year on a note on which we feel proud of ourselves, and step out of our comfort zone so that we can really receive the recognition that we know we deserve. So this is not a card. The theme for December is not to shy behind your own insecurities or to hide behind your own insecurities or your limitations, but it's a time to say, you know what, I'm going to fake it till I make it. I'm going to keep trying to push through and do that which might be a little bit uncomfortable, but that which I really want to do. And I'm not going to follow the inner voice, the critical voice that's going to tell me that I need to wait longer or I'm not ready, and really take that plunge. It is also a leadership card, so we are going to be asked to lead, and I think the best kind of leadership is when we lead by example. So we are going to be asked to look at our behavior in any position that we are leading in. It could be in your business, it could be in your home. We all lead in various aspects of our life. We lead our children. We lead our partners in the way that we believe that we want to live on this planet and the kind of family life we want to have in this. So this card brings a strong emphasis on your leadership abilities and skills, and also recognizing where your leadership may be wounded, where you don't know how to ask for that which you wish for, where you don't know how to express your needs and find a better way to do so. So there is a strong wisdom that's attached to this energy. Of course, as I said, there's innovation, there's entrepreneurship, there's really taking the plunge. But there is a little bit of that theatrical energy where there's a little bit of drama, where you really want to push your boundaries, you really want to embrace a version of you that you know exists somewhere. It may have been an expression of you that existed in the past, and that, over the last 2 years it's been dim. But now it's time for you to bring it back to the surface. It's time for you to step into that role and really let your biggest sun self express itself. The next two cards, this represents what we need to be aware of, and these are major arcana cards. That was a major arcana card, this is a minor arcana card, which means it's more day to day. Again, the King of Spring is a strong energy, and this card, both these cards, and it's 1 and 11. Again, 1 is the sun energy and 11 is again a master number. So these cards are bringing our attention to two things. The Magician's energy is really about recognizing that we are true creators. And when we have to bring our attention to it, we really are being asked to focus on the thoughts we are having that are not serving us. Because if we are creators, if we are fearing things, if we're going through life with a feeling of heaviness, like everything is falling apart or that nothing is working in my favor, we're going to see more of that. And that's why it's saying bring your awareness to who you are, what you're putting in the world, that number one, like the king energy. But is it aligned to what you want, or is it aligned to that which you don't want, or that which is expressing itself through some pain or trauma or some past experience in which you were feeling? Because that is coming up right now for you to say, it's easy for me, or rather, which wolf will I feed? Is it the one that wants to thrive and push through its own limitation, or is it the one that's going to fall into the cycle of self-doubt and not let itself thrive? So the Magician card is really about taking charge of your life, taking charge of your thoughts, of your actions, and your words as well. But it's also reminding you that you can do anything. And if you can do anything, you want to be aware of what you are doing. And what you are choosing to do needs to be that which is bringing value in your life, which is building your life, which is making you feel alive. For me, this theme has been coming up for December so strongly, end of November into December so strongly. You know, we are put on this planet to do several things, to grow, to learn, to experience. But more than anything else, we really need to feel alive. And if certain things in your life, your job, your situation is currently expressing in a way where you don't feel so alive, you don't need to abandon those things. You just need to change it up, shift it up, and invite more things that make you feel alive. And the other thing we need to be aware of is our strength. Now, strength can mean a lot of things, but in this circumstance, what I'm receiving for this is that we are strong. There is an impact and a strength that comes from our words, from our thoughts that we project into the world. And even though it's saying awareness on strength, it's asking you, are you being aware of your strength, or are you letting yourself play in from your weaknesses? So this card is really telling you that you do have it in you, but you must be aware of your own inner strength. And this can show up like, you know, you're procrastinating one morning and you show up on your mat, or you show up to your workout and you surprise yourself with your strength. But even showing up took strength. So if you want to really create change and you really want to end this year with not only a sense of fulfillment, but also looking back and a sense of motivation and drive for the year ahead, you really want to tap into your strength. We all have it in us. We all are connected to source. We have an infinite amount of strength connected to it. But it's all about, are we perceiving it from our understanding of our own strength, or are we perceiving it from the perspective of our weakness? And as we take our awareness to our own strength, our own capabilities, and the power we have as creators in this world, we can create more of this energy, the king energy, the sun energy. And the Sag energy really lends itself to this in any case. We are able to go beyond what we think is possible for us in this month. And there are distractions. December is full of distractions. But there is this surge of energy that we will feel. And it's about riding that wave, knowing your strength, letting go of the past failures, and knowing that it's a wide open road. Yes, you might hit some obstacles, but it's time to make progress. Next card is about what our focus needs to be on. So the Three of Spring card is really a long-term energy card. It's telling us that while we need to keep our focus on our goals ahead, we need to be patient while we're waiting. Because a lot of us get trapped in the, I need to have this done by this, and then I need to have this done by then, and only then I'll feel that sense of satisfaction and success. But it's really also telling you to savor the process and to have that sense of satisfaction about what you've achieved. So focus on what you have achieved. We cannot really create that which we want to create if we cannot feel grateful for that which we already have. And this is one of the most important principles of manifestation that is often overlooked. Because when we are looking at our lives and saying, this is lacking in my life, and we keep focusing on that which is lacking in our lives, we continue to be in the energy of lack, and then we cannot attract anything more. But the moment we shift our energy and say, okay, this is lacking, but this is where the glass is half full, this is all the amazing things that do exist in my life. And when we can lean in on that, then we know that we can attract more of that. So this card is really saying, keep your focus on what you have achieved while you still keep your eyes on the horizon. It's that perfect, rooted, but like feet in the earth and head, and eyes on the horizon kind of energy. And what we need to do more of is expect that good luck is on its way. This is the Wheel, another major arcana card, which means that it is a more significant energy, and it's telling us that sometimes we are in our own ways and we create delays in our lives, and delays are actually over. We're lingering on in that lack energy, and then we're prolonging the delay. And also it can be a card of travel, and I think this is relevant for a lot of people in the month of December, because we do tend to go visit family or spend some time in nature or whatever it is that we're called to do. So this is telling you that do more of that. If there's travel planned, and if there's work, and if there's stuff you need to show up for, balance it out. Make time to do the things that light you up and make you feel alive, because that alive energy is going to translate into what you need to create externally in the world. What we need to be doing less of. So I'm surprised to see the Queen of Summer card, because it's usually a very nurturing, intuitive energy. It's an energy that says take care of yourself. It's an energy that helps us take care of others. I mean, this is reminding me of all the very many caregivers in the pandemic, whether they were healers, whether they were nurses, whether they were support groups that were raising money. They were all being led by the Queen of Summer. Summer energy is a very emotional energy. It's a water element energy, and at this time when the cards are telling us to do less of this, it's asking us if we are giving too much in certain areas of our life, and can we bring that balance and withdraw. I do see the relevance of this card from the perspective of the holidays, because it can be a time when we've had family traditions and we've had people do certain things a certain way, or we've done something every year a certain way with a certain bunch of people or a certain group of people, our tribe, and we might be forcing to create it again. We are trying to recreate that experience and hold on to it with our dear life. It's telling you to let go and soften in that energy and not be so focused on how things were and being obsessively trying to recreate it. And I see this a lot of times when the holidays come around. The feminine energy, sometimes it could even be a father figure in the house who's cooking, but it's usually the moms, and they're trying to decorate the tree and do this big dinner and send out the Christmas cards and do various things, and there is a burnout. So this is telling you that you want to do less of that. And I think this is one thing that the pandemic did teach us, that we don't need to have a defined way of living. Sure, we've all just kind of gone right back to the way we used to live pre-pandemic, but if we can take the changes, take those alterations that happen in our personality, because we couldn't do it the usual way, while there's an enthusiasm to do it the old way, let's try and find a mix between the old and the new. Let's try and find a new way, a completely new way, where we're not so exhausted and we're not all depleted from all our giving, and there is a good balance. So this could look like asking other people in your family and doing a potluck and asking them to bring in meals, or making everything a communal activity, so it's more shared resources versus one person's giving and the others are receiving. So definitely less of I'll do this, I'll show up, I can overcompensate, because that does not serve us, and definitely doesn't. It's the opposite of the King of Spring energy, almost what we want to create. And if you're depleted all the time, we're not going to be able to really shine. Okay, so these cards, the next set of 3, represent the opportunities and possibilities that will present themselves to us. And I wouldn't say the energy is all looking up, for lack of a better way of putting it, because opportunities don't always look like opportunities. Someone might leave your life, and that may look like something that is upsetting, but it's actually an opportunity for the next best situation to present itself to you. So the first card that we have is the 7 of Autumn. I love it when we get autumn energy, because it is an energy of abundance, it's an energy of money, but it's also the energy of you are making progress, and be patient. It's not like a windfall. It's not like there is going to be massive growth, but it's telling you that you're on the right path and to be patient. And this in itself is an opportunity for growth, because our life is never going to feel like it's an uphill climb, or rather, running down a slope completely free and abandoned. It's going to feel like we need to be patient. We need to, even the seasons teach us that, because winter is a time where you really hibernate, you go within, and you take time to work through a lot of stuff internally. So this card is telling you that there are opportunities. Don't get hasty, don't get impatient, let them come. Connect with your intuition when you want, because 7 is a very spiritual, connected to your spirituality and wisdom number. Take the time to consider if the opportunity is the best one for you. Don't just jump on it. And know if you can honor that as well. But it is a card that could also represent like an investment you made a long time ago could come to fruition now. That's always the nice energy about this card, that it does represent something you've been patiently waiting for, which has finally come, to fruition. So if there's something you're waiting for, an answer, some kind of paperwork to travel, I feel like those are the things that are going to start seeing some movement. But of course, patience. This is your energy. You need to focus on what it is that you want to create and what you are creating subconsciously. Always being aware of what you're putting out as messages into the universe, and then we can really receive those blessings that are coming to us in the form, and with the 7 of Autumn. The next opportunity and possibility that's presenting itself to us is the Princess of Spring. And I actually love this card because I've been feeling a pretty strong nudge. Almost, I wouldn't even say it's a nudge anymore, because it's like a restlessness, which is this Princess of Spring energy, to do something different that is creative. And this could be anything. This could be, finally writing down that, starting to put in bits and pieces for that book you want to publish. It could be a course you want to take. It could be a dance class you want to start. It could be that you just want to gather in community and paint, or you want to go and, look at some aerial arts, that, anything that's expression. It could be body expression, it could be expression through words, through, art, through your paintings. It could be anything under the sun, but it's telling you that opportunities are going to come your way in the creative spectrum, and you need to go and respond to them. And opportunities are going to come if you can be creative, because creative energy is again our birthright. And when we live in routine, when we live these modern lifestyles, it's very difficult for us to connect with our true creativity. Even for people who are professional artists, it moves from a right brain activity to a left brain activity when it suddenly has a deadline attached to it, or when you have a performance, and that sometimes takes away from the true energy of creativity. Creativity could be as simple as playing your favorite song and dancing around your house and just being in that expression. So these are the opportunities to look out for. Travel, nature brings out a lot of creativity for us as well. And the third energy is that of justice. And this is an interesting opportunity because it's really asking us to take a stand, to be honest with ourselves, to review things before we jump to a conclusion, to not pick sides just because of a bias, to really make a fair-minded decision. And this card is really about standing up for what's right, what you do believe is right. The kind of times we are in this world at this point in time, it's really easy to just go with the flow and be part of the herd mentality. And this is telling you that really stay true to yourself. If there's something you support and something you believe in, there will be opportunities for you to stand by it. If you see some kind of violence or something that's imbalanced towards someone else, make a decision that's in integrity. And again, number 8 is a leadership card. So it's again, what kind of leader are you? Are you a leader who's going to just express what people want to see in you? Or are you a leader who's going to stand by what is the right thing, that's going to serve humans at a large? That's a fair perspective. And that's an opportunity to look out for, because this could be in your friend circle, this could be in your workplace, this could be between you and your partner, where you believe that something isn't fair and you have the courage to stand up for it in a respectful manner, in a balanced manner, and take a stand and stay in your truth. That's really what this card is about. Alrighty, so what is going to lift up our spirit and what's going to feed our spirit? And the card is unity. Number 5 is a card of change. The way unity presents itself is that it's about taking what is traditional and taking that which is new age, or taking that which is relevant, and asking yourself, how can you merge the two perspectives? Because what was relevant in the past may not be relevant today, but it has some purpose. This card is also about leadership in a spiritual way, which is honoring your teacher, going to a place of worship, and that can feed your soul. It could be a retreat, it could be a yoga retreat, it could be, traveling to a place submerged in nature where there's lots of community that is expressing itself, and there's creativity, and there's nature and ocean. That kind of stuff will certainly feed your soul. But also taking the balance of the old and the new and finding a version that is completely different and completely relevant to this moment, and finding what that is. And that's going to be individual for each of us, because all of our past experiences are different and where we're heading is different. So what we may find that's most relevant to us may not be the same to someone else. And finding that sweet spot, that little spot of balance between your perspectives can really lift you up and serve your soul. And I do see this as any kind of deep spiritual practice. Some of us might be guided in this time of the year to go on a silent retreat. If any of these yearnings are coming your way, you know that it's the call of your soul. It is going to feed your soul. And so please don't neglect or ignore these calls from within, because they will serve you very deeply. And this energy that we want to tap into for this month, it will only further nurture that energy and kind of fan the fire to that energy. And the last card is what is going to bring us joy. And I was actually really happy to see this card, because the 4 of spring represents a man and a woman who are dancing. And for me, it's really a stability and passion kind of energy. And this could mean that for some people they are falling into partnership. This could mean more time with your existing partner. This could well mean that it's time for you to no longer sit on the fence and put yourself out there to meet a partner. Or it could also mean that if you're in a situation where this is not showing up in your partnership, you need to ask yourself, is this giving me joy? Is this relationship giving me joy? And if it's not giving you joy, I'm not saying abandon ship straight away. It might mean you need to readjust again, reinvent in the relationship, so that the relationship can bring you more joy, so the relationship can fill you up more, and you can feel this beautiful balance of stability and passion, which is required for every relationship to thrive. The holidays are a time of family, a time of togetherness, and it is a time when if we do not have love in our lives, we can feel like that's glaring in our face. While everybody has plans together with their families, don't let this energy feel like, oh, because I have this lack in my life, there's something wrong with you, or there's something inadequate, because that's not true. But it's asking you to then ask yourself, what kind of relationship do you want, or what would how could you express what you want in the relationship by living in that reality today? I always tell this to my clients, that if you want to feel a certain way in a relationship, and you think a romantic relationship is going to give you something, you need to tap into that feeling now. You need to tap into that aliveness and that comfort and that security, and be a source of that for yourself, or find that source to come from other friends and other experiences. If we're isolated and we feel like we're incomplete, we're never going to actually feel complete in the relationship either, because that's our inherent nature and that's our inherent energy. And this is really telling us, take the time to connect with yourself, to connect with community, if you're single, and really tap into that feeling of wholeness, so you can attract that wholeness. And I'm bringing up an interesting point, and I'm grateful to my guides for that, because I think this is relevant in many other areas of our life as well.
when we want to be successful, and it came up earlier today as well, if we're going to keep focusing on the fact that we are not, it is very difficult for that energy to shift and we attract that which we are. So what's going to give us joy is really finding that joy within ourselves, within our communities, so that we can feel that joy in the external world as well. And if it's lacking in your life, even if you are in a partnership, it means that you need to ask yourself what you need to correct and how you need to course correct with you and your partner to feel that stability and that passion. And that will help you tap into joy. And I think it's a great way to set yourself up for the next year. It's a great way to take stock of how you feel so that you have a clean slate and you have a good foundation for the next year ahead as we move into January 2023. So this was your reading for December 2022 for the entire month. And so it's relevant at any time at which you watch it through the month. I've had such a blast doing this reading for you guys. I was really feeling myself connect with some of the messages that were coming in spite of doing a personal reading for myself recently. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting and coming to my channel and messaging me and letting me know that you enjoy what I do here. I really appreciate you, and I wish you a beautiful month of magic, miracles, strength, and fire, and sun energy for the month of December. Thank you for watching, and I will see you